Hello and welcome to the Minor X podcast. My name is Angelo, and today I am joined by Quinn and Ariana. We're meeting here today to discuss our predictions for the upcoming 98th Academy Awards, which will take place on March 15th. We'll try to get to as many categories as possible today, but I say we jump right into the Best Picture nominees to start us off. The 10 nominees for Best Picture are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Values, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Now, one thing I actually noticed about a lot of these movies that we're going to talk about today, particularly One Battle After Another, Sinners, Begonia, Weapons, and from my understanding, having not seen it, Marty Supreme, are that they're all pretty hard to discuss without getting into spoilers. So just a fair warning to all the listeners, you'll probably be heavily spoiled. We'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum.
Yeah. I'm going to try and talk vibes more than specific points.
Now, some of the spoilers are particularly actors that are nominated. Gladys for Weapons, I feel like that's kind of spoiler.
Yeah. I mean, I think inherently, Amy Madigan.
But anyway, let's go around in a circle, and let's say which movies from the list we've watched, and out of those, who do you think is the winner? So, Quinn, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, so I made a point to watch as many of these as I can. The ones that I haven't seen is shorter, so I did not see Sentimental Value, I did not see Hamnet, and I did not see F1, because all of those are behind a fairly significant paywall, and everything else is easy to access. I do think my favorites on the list are One Battle After Another, and probably Begonia, but I think One Battle After Another is going to win. I think it just has the juice this year, and I think Paul Thomas Anderson has the goodwill of the Academy. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is not a favorite, but is probably a top 3 for Best Actor from that. And I think Sean Penn has a very strong case for supporting actor. I would probably vote Sean Penn of the supporting actor nominees. That said, if I had to rank, I watched The Secret Agent last night, which I know is kind of a sleeper one that not a whole lot of people have seen. Mm-hmm. It's in Portuguese. It's a Brazilian movie, and Wagner Moura is very good in that. I thought it was shot well. I think if it has a chance to win anything, casting would probably be what I would pick it for, because the cast in it is great, and it's a huge cast. It's an ensemble cast. And that was good, not what I was expecting. The one I was most disappointed in that I saw was probably Train Dreams. Okay. It's shot beautifully, and I could see it winning for cinematography, but it was just pretty boring. I would recommend, if you're looking to just kind of have a pretty movie that is under 2 hours on in the background, it's good. William H. Macy is fun for the bit of it that he's in. The acting is pretty solid, but the writing is... Everyone waxes poetic the whole movie, and it's just like, ain't life beautiful but terrible? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. I'm going to go saw some wood and hang out with my dogs. Picking winner, One Battle After Another, final answer. That's what I'll go with.
Okay. Ariana?
I usually try to see as many of the best pictures as I can, since I think we have done this now a few times together.
Yeah, I think this is our third or fourth time.
Yeah. And I think even before that, Angelo, you and I have done this for quite a few times, pre-Quinn. So I try to. This year, I don't know, a lot of them didn't grab me for some reason, but I do want to see Marty Supreme. I attempted to watch it and had like a little technological snafu with my friends when we were attempting to watch it, so we just played video games and drank wine instead. But I have seen Begonia, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, and Sinners of the Best Picture category. I have also seen Weapons, which Amy Madigan is up for an Oscar for as Best Actress or Supporting Actress. And then obviously I've seen what we think will be the best animated film, but I've seen that too, and we can talk about that later. So I haven't seen a ton of the films this year, but I've still seen about 5 of them, 5 or 6. So I feel pretty good about making this call. I agree about One Battle After Another probably winning, even though I don't know, because I haven't seen Hamnet, but Hamnet did win Best Picture for Golden Globes.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I think oftentimes that's a tell.
Was it Because Globes will separate by genre. Did they?
Maybe that's what it is.
I'm guessing they won drama.
You know what? Yeah, maybe that's why.
I don't know who won. I think Marty Supreme won comedy.
Marty Supreme did. Did it win comedy? Because I know Timothy Chalamet won. Now I can't remember. I'll have to look. I'll look it up and then we can. But usually that's Italian. And you're right. I forgot that they separate it even more because they have comedy / musical. So
speaking of, I neglected to mention Sinners. I think actually Sinners was probably my second favorite.
I was going to ask you about that.
I love Sinners.
Yeah, Sinners was great. I've seen Sinners a few times. I forget that it came out in this Oscar cycle because it came out so much earlier than the rest of the
April or
nominees.
something.
Yeah.
One Battle After Another won for comedy.
Oh, it did. Yep.
Marty Supreme didn't win other than Timothy Chalamet. So I think
for Best Actor, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was also looking, and I think they've held some kind of record, or they're close to holding a record for most amounts nominated for a film not winning anything, and that's Marty Supreme for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me. If you've seen Marty Supreme, it's beautiful. It didn't do a whole lot for me.
Okay, yeah. Going off of that, actually, Sinners is the most nominated movie in Oscar history at 16 nominees.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I do wonder if it's going to eventually, after the Oscars, get the award for most nominees that didn't win. Because I feel like One Battle After Another is going to sweep this year.
I do think they'll probably sweep.
It's tough because Sinners did have a strong SAG Awards. And I think Michael B. Jordan...
It did, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a strong case for...
I feel like Ryan Coogler has a strong case for Best Director.
Yeah.
If you guys watched, and Quinn showed me this, his Kodak commercial, which is really interesting. So Ryan Coogler is in this...
Did I show you that?
Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was just Reddit.
Yeah.
But like,
I am just Reddit as a
yeah, sometimes I
human.
forget. I confuse the two.
Yeah.
But on it, he goes through and he explains why he chose the film that he chose. And it's a commercial, but it's like an 8-minute commercial, and it's fascinating. You're like, oh, this guy should win Best Director. And I need to go buy some Kodak film.
It's expensive, yeah. Someone that shoots film.
Yeah. It worked.
Well, to finish off the circle, I've seen 4 from the list. I usually try to watch about half. The 5th movie I would have watched was Sentimental Value. I just couldn't find it for under $20 on whatever services I was using. I thought it was going to be on HBO Max, but it wasn't. And the reason why I particularly wanted to see that one is because I really liked the director's previous film called The Worst Person in the World, which came out, I think, about 5 years ago. But of the 4 I did watch, I watched Begonia, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And I thought all are definitely worth watching. But of these, I think One Battle After Another is a clear winner. I agree with you, too. And I have to admit that I'm approaching this from a really highly biased standpoint. Not only am I a huge fan of Paul Thomas Anderson already, but I'm particularly a big fan of the book that One Battle After Another is adapted from, which is Thomas Pynchon's Vineland. I was so excited for the movie, by the way, that I went to go see it on the Friday midnight release, so really the Thursday evening, and I was so excited that I couldn't go to sleep the night before. So I went in with having been up for practically 24 hours, and the movie is almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But oh my God, it was such an amazing movie that it kept me awake and focused the entire time.
It's so engaging and well paced, and that's why I think overall, Sinners has parts that are more entertaining. I think Marty Supreme has parts that are better shot. I'm sure that Sentimental Value, which is up for a lot of acting categories, is well acted, and Hamnet as well. One Battle After Another just has a confluence of these things that it's just a good movie. It's one that I think is one I could, drop in at any point in it and just watch it just because it's on.
I think, too, with One Battle After Another, because I saw it, I get sleepy, and so I went, it's nearly 3 hours, or slightly over 3 hours, and I went with friends to go see it at 8 o'clock at night, so we didn't finish it till past 11. Yes. But it kept me captivated almost the whole time. I think I fell asleep at the last 15 minutes for a really brief period of time, which because it was late and I'm a tired person. But it kept me captivated.
That's high
but
praise.
it did keep me captivated, and it was.
Yeah.
And that speaks to it because when movies are so long nowadays, even Frankenstein was beautiful and so well done, but it felt as long as it was. And I feel like sometimes it's nice nowadays with like streaming and people are, I think, willing to go see longer movies, but I think we could do with a little bit more editing. But One Battle After Another was fantastic.
I was ready for another hour.
I think they did a really good job on what they kept, and I think it kept you captivated throughout the whole thing.
There's a few movies in this Best Picture category that I would consider look pretty and do nothing, and that is Train Dreams. For me, Marty Supreme, I know some people are big Marty Supreme people, and there had a lot of buzz going into this, but it was just sort of like, oh, what if this guy like screws over everybody in his life and then does a version of the thing he was trying to do and then realizes he should be a good person at the end. That was okay, sure. Okay. Maybe I'm it's a little shallow reading, but I've only seen it once, so I'd have to watch it again. And then Frankenstein is another one where it was like retelling of Frankenstein, didn't really break new ground in terms of literary interpretation. That the acting is good, the costumes are great. I think it'll probably win some sort of visual category that it's up for, which is almost all of them, if not all of them. Particularly hair and makeup or costume.
Oh, yeah.
But beyond that, Victor Frankenstein was two-dimensional in a way that he's not in the book. And then Mia Goth's character, I forget her name off the top of my head, she was underutilized.
Okay. Totally.
Yeah. I really enjoyed when she was on screen. And
she's so captivating.
She's an interesting-looking person.
Something about her, because I've seen her in a couple stuff, and she never like totally pulled me in. But something like her look, and there is something about you that like keeps you wondering and wanting more. And they just did not. Yeah, maybe it
something
is,
about her eyebrows.
or like lack. I always thought it was like lack of.
Well, yeah, because they're like short eyebrows. Yeah, I saw her in Pearl, and that's really the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, probably X as well, right?
Yeah, I didn't see all of X. I saw like part of it, but I saw Pearl because it looked. I like a period horror.
Oh, okay, yeah. Totally.
And that one I enjoyed more than the bit of X that I saw. But she
yeah,
was
I
very
did not
good
like
in that.
X.
I didn't care for it either.
Yeah.
I
didn't see Maxine.
in that.
Oh, yeah. I do find the whole thing about it being a trilogy fascinating, where they made X and they're just like, we have enough time. Should we just continue making like a series of this? Yeah.
It was funny, though, because I didn't like her character, but I didn't like, it wasn't about Mia Goth playing it, because I think she actually did a really good job. I just thought it was, I felt like the choices the director made
This is Guillermo del Toro, right?
Weird. Not in Frankenstein, because I'm talking about X.
Oh, okay.
But, no, I mean, I think it was just, Frankenstein is hard, because it was really beautiful, and, I mean, it was good, so I would still recommend people see it, but I think it's just, it's been told so many times that it's hard to introduce something new, and it was almost more about the scenery and the aesthetic and the vibe than the story itself. And so I felt like they had a lot of really good actors, but I didn't feel like much happened with them.
Right.
Okay.
I think Jacob Elordi's portrayal of the monster was some of the better iteration of that character that I've seen, because he was closer to the book than other Frankenstein adaptations have gotten. In the past, he's intelligent, he's grotesque, and he's like a Superman and really strong, and that was cool. I liked all of the scenes in the Arctic were really good, but yeah, it just didn't do a whole lot for me.
That being said, I'm excited to see The Bride, though, because that seems pretty
Early
interesting.
reviews are not good.
But I think it's still worth going to the theater and seeing, so you can make that call.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you would send people to the theater to see it?
Oh, okay.
We are doing a fantasy box office thing, and that's one of my movie picks. So if you guys see it and it makes some more money, it only helps enhance my ranking. But that being said, it does look good, and it's with an actress nominated for Best Actress.
Jessie Buckley.
And she's really good. Like everything I've seen her in, she's been fabulous. Like I loved her in Fargo, and I saw other things with her, but she's very. Oh, I saw like I'm thinking about leaving you, which she was fabulous in. Or I'm thinking about ending things, I think it's called, actually.
Well, that's a good segue. Let's talk about some of the best actors. We'll start with Best Actress. And speaking of Jessie Buckley, I think she has a very high chance of winning Best Actress this year. I went to go see Hamnet because I read the book of it a while ago. And I was really interested in how they adapted it. And it's actually kind of interesting. All the problems I had with the book, I had with the movie as well. So I guess that's a pretty good adaptation. Yeah. Which is, it's a very, like, airy, like lots of shots of nature, ethereal movie. I'm trying to remember who's the director of
Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao. But
I like her.
She did Nomadland.
She did Nomadland.
She did another movie that was.
She did the
nominated.
Eternals, Marvel's Eternals.
Well, I don't think that's very comparable to this. But the director I'm thinking of is the one who made Thin Red Line as well as Days of Heaven. It's been a while since I've seen either of those. But basically, if you're familiar with those, Hamnet reminded me of those, and that it's very bare bones plots, but it's very just like you're in nature and you're just taking in a lot of the scenery. And this could sound boring, but just the way that she handles it in the cinematography makes it very just like engaging, and you just feel like you're in the world through it. So Jessie Buckley plays Shakespeare's wife in it, and it's mostly about her and her raising the kids while Shakespeare is off in London making plays. So a lot of the movie is focused just like on her reaction and stuff, her facial features, yeah. So I think she has a very high chance of winning. The other person who I think has a really high chance of winning that category, however, is Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And Quinn, I know that you watched that.
Yes, that movie is stressful. It's a very we've all seen that one, right?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I want to, though. I do like Rose Byrne.
It is a panic attack movie. It's a movie that doesn't really offer you a resolution so much as it offers you, you know...
the ride.
The ride,
yeah. Conan O'Brien is in it, and that was kind of funny seeing him be just an angry guy the whole movie. But yeah, Rose Byrne is great in that she plays a woman who has a daughter with complex medical needs, and her husband is away for an extended period of time, so she is a therapist that is taking care of her daughter and at the same time is undergoing construction in her apartment, so they're living out of a hotel for the duration of the movie. Yeah, she's fantastic in it, and it's her. She's in every shot. I don't think they ever cut away from her. And she is so good at communicating
her emotions.
Yeah.
Whole shots are just her face super up close to the camera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's shot in a way where you don't see her daughter for most of the movie, so you're looking at her oftentimes from like a under perspective, from like a child's perspective. Cool cinematography. I thought the way that they shot it was added a lot to the performance, but she's fantastic.
My favorite review I saw of that movie, someone called it "Uncut Gems from Others." So if that makes any sense to you, it's basically just like living a heart attack for 2 hours.
Yeah, my sister did not like Uncut Gems at all for that reason.
She probably won't like this one.
She probably won't.
It was the first movie in a while I've seen where I was like actively wanting to turn it off at certain points because of just how uncomfortable I felt, which is effective. That's the movie doing what it was intending to do. If I saw this in theaters, I don't know. I wouldn't walk out. I never walked out of a movie. Wouldn't intend to walk out of a movie, but I would feel severely uncomfortable during this movie if I was in theaters. But Rose Byrne is great, I think. Yeah, she's my pick to win, but I do think Jessie Buckley would win.
I would make an argument even for Emma Stone because that's one.
She was great.
Yeah, so like Begonia, I loved. I too like films that bring kind of something new to the plate, and I felt like the two main ones that did that. I mean, one battle after another too, but Sinners really did that, and Begonia, and I loved Begonia. Like I thought it was so funny in a really dark and awful way. But I did look up spoilers for the movie at the end, so I'm not going to give that away. But I think if you do look that up, knowing what you know, it helps you like see how good the actors truly were, and especially Emma Stone. Because like I think knowing what I know about it, like I would see her play in certain ways like during the film, and I was like, oh, she's good.
So you knew the ending before going in? Okay. That's an interesting movie, and I don't think it hurts the movie if you.
No, I don't think it does. I think I'm I'm not typical where, like, to me, I love spoilers. And so sometimes, like, as an anxious person myself, sitting with my anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen doesn't help me enjoy a movie. So I will look up spoilers, and I'll still watch the movie, and I'll still greatly enjoy. I mean, maybe the only movie I wouldn't ever enjoy knowing spoilers for would be, The Sixth Sense. But anything else is fine, you know?
Right. No, I think Begonia, I enjoy Yorgos Lanthimos to an extent. There is a threshold of Lanthimos that I can't go down. Poor Things was great, and is the only movie of his that doesn't have like an overt like horror element to it, I guess, that I've seen.
See, I wouldn't agree. I think it greatly had, because I mean, almost
Poor
like
Things. I saw it as more of a dark comedy than Begonia.
Begonia's not as. Well, I mean, I know there's more horror to Begonia.
He straddles that line in everything that he does, but I feel like Poor Things was on the comedy end of his.
The Favorite didn't have horror.
The Favorite had some gore in it.
I guess it did. That's
true. That movie was great. I forget that he did that. That might be my favorite of his.
I haven't watched that one yet. I want to say with regards to Begonia, this is probably his most, of the ones I've seen anyway, his most general audience-friendly movie. No, I haven't seen Favorite, so...
I would say The Favorite.
Okay. The Favorite is, Wait, did he do The Lobster, too?
Yeah, he did. And
he did The Lobster,
that's definitely not...
The Sacred Deer.
I loved The Lobster. Yeah. But the people I went with were mad that I took them to that film.
Most people, I think, are going to hate that movie. Yeah.
It's been like over a decade since I've seen that, so I have to rewatch it. But I do remember enjoying it. But I remember thinking it was slow, and Colin Farrell's performance in Yorgos Lanthimos movies is always very flat, which is odd because he's got such great range, and I love him when he's playing a bit more manic, and he in Bruges or Banshees of Inisherin.
I love those
He's great
films.
in those, and whenever he's doing a Yorgos movie, he's very flat and matter of fact. And Killing of a Sacred Deer is the same way.
Yeah, he uses him in that way, but I mean, that doesn't mean that he's not playing it just as well. Cause, I mean,
that's a directorial instruction for sure.
Maybe the chaos is really what he's more comfortable with.
Back to Oscars. Emma Stone was great in Begonia, and Jesse Plemons was also very good in Begonia, and is notably snubbed from an acting category.
Yes. That's been one of the big takeaways, I think, after people see Begonia, is they're like, oh, Jesse Plemons played it so well. What a good actor. And he's not listed in the nominations for Best Actor at all.
Well, I kind of find his character, like, the fascinating drive of that movie, because with Emma Stone, her drive is like, oh, is she... I don't know if I should say spoiler.
You're trying to figure out who's essentially like with Begonia, who's right. Like there's two different claims that like the main actors are making, and you're trying to figure out your own judgment and who actually is correct and who isn't.
But with regards to Jesse Plemons' character, it's that, but it's also like, why does he believe this? And like the deeper rooted issues with regards to him. So I'm surprised he's not in the Best Actor category, which as we can jump ship to that one. I don't have a lot to say because of the 5 nominees, I only saw the one, which is One Battle After Another. Leonardo DiCaprio is nominated for that one. So I guess he's my choice. But, I mean, his character was hilarious. He basically plays the dude from The Big Lebowski, but extra paranoid.
I saw all of these.
Wow, okay.
And the one that I would vote for to win is also the one that is the least nominated, and that is Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, which is not a whole lot of buzz around Blue Moon. It's a Richard Linklater film. He did School of Rock, but he did Boyhood is probably the one that that is his like legacy is Boyhood, which Ethan Hawke is also in, and it's about a real person. It's a biopic, but it takes place all in one night, which I really enjoy that format for a biopic because it kind of condenses and makes a person's life more thematic. Just going through like the themes of their life encapsulated in one night. And it's the premiering of Oklahoma, the musical Oklahoma. Richard Rodgers of Rodgers and Hammerstein is the composer for that, and his former writing partner is who Ethan Hawke plays. His name is Larry Hart, and he wrote the lyrics for My Funny Valentine, for The Lady is a Tramp, these kind of lounge standards, Broadway classics. He was the lyricist for these through the 20s and 30s. They work together for 20 years, and then he has a addiction issue, is difficult to work with. Richard Rodgers ends up drifting away from him and starts working with Hammerstein, and that's when they do all of the Rodgers and Hammerstein works, where they do, starting with Oklahoma, Sound of Music, South Pacific, all of these Broadway classics, and Lorenz Hart is kind of forgotten about in that. So it's the premiering of Oklahoma. You follow Lorenz Hart. He's at a bar next to the theater and just sort of grappling with his irrelevance and, wasted potential, the relationships that he has lost along the way due to his own, innate flaws, and then also kind of struggling to love himself for the talents that he has. And you see him just interact, and that's the whole movie. It's almost entirely monologue. There are a few scenes of dialogue, but the first 30 minutes is almost just Ethan Hawke monologuing, and he's fantastic. It's like when Philip Seymour Hoffman did Capote. There is a very specific character affect that Lorenz Hart had, and Ethan Hawke emulates really well. I just thought it's really well written, too. It's up for Best Original Screenplay. It's based off a series of letters that Lorenz Hart had written to a woman working in Broadway who's played by Margaret Qualley in the movie, that I don't know what her impact on the industry ended up being, but her name in the movie is Elizabeth Weald. So it's based off of these letters that they had, but it's an original screenplay. This didn't actually happen. This night didn't happen. It's just sort of the
what if
artistic interpretation. Yeah. And Ethan Hawke is really good. I've been talking this movie up to everybody. I watched it on a whim on Valentine's Day because he wrote My Funny Valentine, and I thought that was interesting. Okay. And I was like, oh, let's see. Loved it. It was awesome. That being said, I do think anybody but him will probably win. The only person I think that has worse odds would probably be Wagner Moura, who was The Secret Agent, which I also saw and also enjoyed, not as much as Blue Moon, but he's fantastic in that. I think Michael B. Jordan or Leonardo DiCaprio would win.
So I do have a question about Blue Moon, because my dad and his girlfriend watched it and really liked it, but my dad's girlfriend is a big musical person, so I'm wondering if you need to have some kind of understanding of the history of it to go into it.
I think it does a good job of teaching you that. I think if you don't know what the musical Oklahoma is, or you haven't heard the name Rodgers and Hammerstein before, it does a good job of educating you, so you don't really need to know too much about it. Whereas the other movie I mentioned, The Secret Agent, that Wagner Moura is in, that's a movie that helps to go in knowing a bit about Brazil in the 70s. You don't need to know about Broadway in 1943 to go into Blue Moon. Although it does help to put yourself in the headspace of, New York in 1943 at the height of the U.S.'s involvement in World War II, or escalating in World War II. Oklahoma, if you haven't seen it or don't know much about it, is a very sort of optimistic musical, and is very sort of brassy. I've never seen it, but that's just sort of my grasp of it, and it's talked about in the movie. So understanding that this is a period of time where people are very patriotic, and they're also very sad because they're in the middle of this huge world war. Most of them have lived through the first one, and we're never expecting another world war to happen. So the market for this type of media is burgeoning. It's this new era of, patriotic, high spirits, adventure type movies that colored a lot of the peak of the studio era of Hollywood and this period of Broadway. Oklahoma is one of the first productions to kind of start this trend, and is a huge success as a result of that. And there's a lot of imitators of Oklahoma. And Lorenz Hart is someone who is innately cynical and writes comedy, writes satire. The movie is about, the cultural shift that leaves him in the dust in a lot of ways. And that is some context to have in mind when you're watching it. That is important. But the movie does a great job of framing that for you. They do, I think, at the beginning, a title card going, Lorenz Hart wrote the lyrics to these, and then Richard Rodgers goes on to be wildly more successful than him. But yeah, I think it's a great movie. I think anybody would like it.
Yeah, you definitely sold me on that, because I didn't realize how much of that was the premise regarding musicals, but also Richard Linklater and Ethan Hawke. That's quite a duo that's been some of the best movies, particularly the Before trilogy, if you're
Oh,
familiar
yeah.
with that. Linklater is a really interesting director because, as you mentioned, Boyhood and it being filmed over the course of 12 years, he always manipulates time in very interesting ways. Yeah.
I would like to see Michael B. Jordan take it. Because I think Leonardo DiCaprio did a really good job in One Battle After Another. And I think Michael B. Jordan did a really good job in Sinners. I feel like both of them kind of played stereotypical roles. And I think they leaned into the stereotypes of what they were given. But I think Michael B. Jordan essentially played two people. And I think he did it really well. And I think the fact that you could look at him on the screen and not get confused because I think he played them so different. I thought it was great. And that's the thing, I think because Sinners came out so much earlier than the other ones, it was almost a sleeper in a lot of ways. I remember when it first came out and everyone was talking it up and they're like, oh, you have to see this film. And so I remember seeing it and I remember thinking it was good or just kind of like, I was like, it's good. And I could see why people hyped it up. But then when it got more buzz, I watched it again. And I remember seeing it the second time and thinking, oh, this is great. Like, seeing it a second time made me appreciate it more and really actually put it almost at the top of my list, I think, with One Battle After Another. And so I think I would like to see Michael B. Jordan win it. And I think he very well could.
Yeah. As you mentioned, like the fact that you could differentiate between the two characters, I remember that's definitely, yeah. Oh, I would like to talk about Sinners because I feel like we haven't discussed it much, despite the fact that it's the most nominated. I know this is kind of jumping ahead, but the movie is not really a musical, but it's a very music-heavy movie. Some of the best scenes from movies I've seen this year come from Sinners.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, there's one particular scene in the farmhouse during a party where... it's a celebration of essentially, particularly African-American music, the history of African-American music, but there's hints of celebration of music from other cultures as well in that particular scene, if you know what I'm talking about.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that scene will always stick with me.
Find a YouTube video, I think, where Ryan Coogler breaks it down and where they talk about the music aspect of it, but also... the way it's shot, I think it's shot in all one shot, right?
I think so.
Yeah, no,
it's so cool.
So good. Yeah, that is probably the best directed scene in that movie. The other one would be the Irish dance sequence.
Oh,
but
I love that too.
The song from that scene, I Lied to You, is up for Best Original Song. And I think it could win. The only other one that might challenge it is Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters.
That's my choice, honestly.
I think that could probably win, but Best Original Music, I think it is. Yeah, original score, I think Sinners wins that.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, actually, I do think One Battle After Another with the Johnny Greenwood score has a pretty good chance of winning. He's the guitarist for Radiohead, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah. And he's composed a lot of music, and I remember the music in that movie, kind of how you were talking about Uncut Gems, it kind of gives... like a stress-induced feeling.
I don't remember. So that's what is strange to me. I don't remember the music in that movie. I remember... there were certain silences in One Battle After Another because that to me was
the
very
sound design.
The sound design was great in that film because it made it so you could hear just like the footsteps and them like packing bags, and to me that was more impactful. I don't remember the music for some reason.
The chase scene, the final chase scene in One Battle After Another is just the car sound. And that is what sticks with me from that movie because that's, I think, the most iconic sequence is just the rolling hills in that chase scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
So regarding Best Original Song, I do have Golden listed here, although in my notes I said I do prefer Soda Pop.
My nephew prefers Soda Pop also.
It makes sense why Golden was chosen.
I prefer Golden.
I prefer Golden. My nephew, it's so cute, he'll go, Soda Pop, and then he's 2, and he'll go...
All right, let's rewind a little bit back to the actor categories. Let's talk about the supporting actor and actresses roles. Let's go with Best Actor in a Supporting Role. I have Sean Penn as Colonel Lockjaw in One Battle After Another. He's become such a meme online.
But he's fantastic. I didn't even realize it was Sean Penn for like the first 20 minutes of that movie. I was so...
I think of Milk when I think of Sean Penn.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He transformed totally for
He's
that
the
role.
opposite of Harvey Milk.
Not a good guy.
No, Sean Penn does a fantastic job. The only way I can see this is maybe Stellan Skarsgård. I haven't seen Sentimental Value, but I've heard great things about the performances in that. I think Sean Penn almost has this category locked up. Yeah.
Even though Benicio del Toro is great.
He's great in that. He's my
another.
favorite character.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting notion, like to make the difference where you can say, I can't speak about Stellan Skarsgård, but Sean Penn played the role really well, even though maybe you don't like him that much.
No, I mean, he's
Whereas
hateable.
Benicio del Toro played the role well, but it's more kind of like his character was so... You just really liked him.
Yeah. The thing with Lockjaw is, like, anytime he's on screen, it's like the movie suddenly has this, like, atmosphere of just, like, stress, and you just feel pressured.
Yeah. It's wild to play this character that is both intimidating and
Pathetic.
Yeah. And I think he does it really well. He's fantastic in that.
And then Best Actress in a Supporting Role?
I don't know. I think, didn't Wunmi Mosaku win one of the 4 previous, and then I know Amy Madigan won one of them. So those are the 2 that I could see splitting it, because the other ones are Sentimental Value, which I haven't seen, Elle Fanning and Inga Ibsdotter Lealis, and then Tiana Taylor also I think has potential to do it, but I think Amy Madigan coming off of it could also be sort of like a career, like here you go kind of thing.
She another superlative to mention is that she has the longest span of time between her last nomination and this nomination. I think she was nominated 40 years ago, and that was her last nomination. Yeah,
you know what it was for?
I can't remember, but Amy Madigan. I mean, she was fairly big in the 80s. I actually remember I watched a movie with her recently, and when I was looking up the cast and whatnot, I clicked on her Wikipedia article, and then I see Aunt Gladys. I'm just like, that's her. That's insane.
Yeah.
She was in Field of Dreams.
She was in Field of Dreams. Who was she in Field of Dreams?
Annie Kinsella.
She was his wife. That's really... Whoa, she's like the lead actress in that movie. She's great in that movie, too. I love that movie. I should rewatch that.
If you're curious what the movie I watched with her, I just remembered it was Streets of Fire, which is not a good movie. William Dafoe's amazing in it. But my choice for Best Actress in a Supporting Role is Amy Madigan as Gladys, for a lot of the same reasons as Lockjaw. Which is just like anytime she's on screen, you're suddenly like on the edge of your seat, and you're like, something's terrible is going to happen at any moment.
The final sequence with her.
Oh, no, yeah, don't need to talk about it.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I'm trying to find when she was nominated.
She was good. I don't know if it's my bias. I didn't love Weapons, and she felt very campy to me, and so I would have. The movie for me was interesting because I think it was like done in a way that I hadn't really seen before. I love that they had interconnecting stories, but I felt that like one half was disconnected from the other because one went way more camp and the other went a little bit more horror, realistic aspect. And so I think I would have preferred them to have made a choice and just leaned into one of those sides, and probably preferably camp. To be honest, but but I think so that had me a little bit confused. But I'm all in for Wunmi Mosaku. I just think she did a great job in Sinners, and I would love to see her. Even though I think Amy Madigan did a really good job too, but my vote would be for Wunmi Mosaku.
I would be very happy with Sinners taking lead actor, supporting actress, and then I could also see Best Picture, although I think it's a little bit more tricky of a category, and then original score. I could see Sinners winning all of those. Sure. And then to your point, I do think it will lose a lot of the categories that it's nominated for because it's spread so far in its nominations.
I also love Elle Fanning, but I didn't see Sentimental Value.
I was surprised she was in that because that movie is Norwegian.
Yeah, so
it's all Norwegian. Yeah.
Primarily, right?
So it's a lot of Skarsgårds. It's Renata, I forget her last name. It's like Reversi or something.
Yeah. She's in...
Rains, I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
She's the main character in The Worst Person in the World, and she's like amazing in that movie.
Sentimental Value?
The director's previous movie. Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to say, there's practically 20 categories. We can't really get to each of them individually. But was there any categories that you wanted to discuss that really stood out to you? Yeah. Any nominees for any of these?
I can talk about fun ones that I think are not like incredible movies. Avatar 3 I saw in IMAX 3D.
I think that's going to win. Visual effects.
It was super worth it, super fun. If you can catch it in a big theater, it's worth it. If you're watching it at home, I don't know, maybe you have one of those projectors or something and a surround sound system. But that was very fun as a theater experience. Adapted screenplay. I think One Battle After Another will win that.
Interestingly enough, I have Hamnet for that one. And part of the reason is because One Battle After Another is very different than the book, whereas Hamnet is almost one-to-one the book. So it's like a perfect adaptation.
Isn't Leonardo DiCaprio, who's the main character in the movie, isn't he like a minor character in Vineland?
Yeah, he's like the main character for the first, like, I'd say 25%. Okay. Yeah. I thought Hamnet was just fine, but I do have it listed as the winner for Best Production Design. This almost feels like a spoiler because it's the third act, but when they go to Shakespeare's Theater, the Globe, that's another one that was like one of my all-time favorite scenes from this year, just because like I don't know if the Globe already exists like somewhere, like a replica of it, or if they built it for this movie, but it's just like the impact of them walking into this theater was like, you just felt it, yeah.
Yeah, that was when I saw the trailers for it, the scene I would...
Oh, it's in the trailers? Okay.
They show Jesse Buckley in the crowd in the trailers.
Okay.
And I thought, because that is one of those things where if you could go back in time, what would you do? And I think seeing a Shakespeare premiere at the Globe, if you go back in time, would be a pretty cool experience. So I thought from the shots of it that I saw, it was captured well. That, by the way, by the time you're hearing this, will be streaming on Peacock if you have that. Okay. So that's the Thursday before it starts. It comes out tomorrow, which is the 6th on Peacock, March 6th. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Saturday, is watching Hamnet. I think Frankenstein will win production design. If I had to...
Okay.
Of the nominees that I've seen, which Hamnet is the only one I haven't, I thought Frankenstein, such a distinct style... Guillermo del Toro, and I always enjoy his production design. I think that would be my pick to win that category.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't really have any opinions on other than really kind of what we talked about. I think it's funny to me what a splash K-pop Demon Hunters has made. Like, even just...
It's a good movie.
It's like, I think Netflix's like biggest movie of all time. Like, it surpassed Frozen. It's just huge, and so it's been a big cash cow for them. But I think it's so funny that it's this animated film, and then now even for the Grammys or for all these awards that this song has won. So now they have to get live actors or live singers to actually perform it. And so I just think the phenomenon behind that is fascinating to me. And now here we are, and it's going to be in the Oscars, and I'm excited to see the performance that they show.
They're performing Golden at the Oscars.
Yes.
They will, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
which has not been done live, I don't think, up to this
Didn't
point.
they do it at the Grammys? Or they did like a splice of it or something? Because like now they have... Because they did have singers in the film. Like they had like the voice actors, and then they had the singers who performed the song. But now I think they have a Huntrix group, actually.
Isn't it the performers from the film as the group when they perform live? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it is.
I'm pretty sure it is, because they got actual people in the K-pop industry. I don't know if they were particularly like well known up to that point going into the movie, but I do think that these were singers that are like known and are K-pop stars. Yeah.
I want to say they're only performing 2 songs this year, which usually they do 5. I think this is what I read. Golden and the I Lied to You, which is the Irish song from Sinners.
Yeah, which are 2 of the nominees for original songs. Yeah, so you're kind of giving away the game one of those is going to
be.
Which is not surprising.
Why are they only performing 2 instead of the 5?
I don't know. Yeah.
I wonder if it's time.
Probably could be time.
I think it's time. I don't know.
I didn't watch Train Dreams, and then the 2 other movies that have a best original song, I didn't hear anything about. So
yeah, I don't know. The Train Dreams, the original song, is, to my memory, is just in the credits of it, and it was fine. It was, it's not like super memorable. Train Dreams is based off a novella, and I think that hurts its ability to become a narrative when you have it on screen, because it's shot gorgeously. I don't know how long the novella is, but my guess is it couldn't be more than like 120 pages or so.
I don't know if I agree with that because in some aspect, I think of Jumanji, which started off as like a children's book.
Yeah.
And the one with Robin Williams, I thought was fantastic.
It is great, and they've made,
it wasn't up for an Oscar, though.
Train Dreams does not have the world-building legs that Jumanji would have. It's the story of a man, Joel Edgerton, from your description of Hamnet, it sounds like the inverse of Hamnet because you're following, he's got a wife and a child, him go off to do logging, Joel Edgerton, and who's really good at it. It's just kind of a quiet performance, very brooding character, and he misses his wife and his daughter, and he comes back, and then, they're together, and then he's got to go logging again. And that's the first, like, half of the movie with a narrator going, like, there's a voice in the trees when you're up in the Oregon pine, and it waxes poetic. I think it could have been a better short film, but it's shot beautifully. I can see it winning for cinematography.
Speaking of short films, actually, I do want to ask before we go to snubs. Did anyone happen to watch any of the short films, documentaries, any of those categories? It's always really hard to watch them ahead of the Oscars. I feel like it's only like art theaters that play them, and they're always pretty far away. Yeah.
I saw The Perfect Neighbor, which is up for feature-length documentary.
Oh, okay.
And that movie is heartbreaking. I think it's a really difficult film to watch. It's about a murder that takes place in this community that is motivated by prejudice, and the whole movie is the body cam footage of the officers that were on scene, stitched together because the people in the community had called the cops on the woman that ends up committing the murder multiple times, and the cops were just like, we can't really do anything about it until it culminates in the murder of a mother, and it's heartbreaking. It is really devastating to watch. I think if this could be up for an editing award, but it's almost too dark of a story, honestly, for to be talking about it in the breadth of like, it's so good it should win an award. It is like very powerful. It's a very powerful piece of media. I haven't seen any of the other documentaries, but that one I think is probably going to win. At least I've heard The Alabama Solution is also good, but I can't remember what the others were.
Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin.
That I've also heard.
I've heard about that one, yeah.
I think international film, The Secret Agent or Sentimental Value will probably win.
Okay, yeah.
I think The Voice of Heinrich Job won in one of the precursor award shows, but that was a little bit of an upset. Okay. But we can go to snubs.
Any snubs that you want to mention? I got some.
I think you probably have the one that I haven't seen, but I would guess is a snub, and that's No Other Choice.
Yes, that's the one I wanted to talk about. No Other Choice is probably my second favorite film from 2025, and it's amazing that it's not listed as Best International Feature Film. I don't know if it came out too late for the Oscars, because I did watch it. Did come out in theaters, I want to say, in January, in the United States anyway.
I mean, it did come out 2025.
Yeah, and No Other Choice is directed by Park Chan-wook, who is famous for Old Boy. I would say he was probably South Korea's most famous director at one point. Obviously, the Bong Joon-ho, who made Parasite, is definitely the most famous nowadays. But No Other Choice, to give you an idea of what it's about, someone is fired from their high-paid salary job, and in order to try to reclaim that job, he assassinates people who are also applying for that job. And it's a very dark comedy, obviously, with a premise like that. It almost feels like a parody of the director's other films, because all of his movies are about assassins getting vengeance. If you're familiar with Old Boy, he also made something called Decision to Leave, which I talked about on a previous podcast, as well as something called The Housemaid. So these are all pretty big South Korean movies. Yeah. And then my other snub, which is a more reasonable snub, Weapons not being chosen for a Best Picture nominee. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zach Cregger will break through that at some point in his career. Yeah. The two movies that he's made, him coming from such a weird comedy background into horror, and to make the quality of movies that he's made in his two feature premieres, I think he will eventually. He's making a Resident Evil
Yes.
movie, which I'm excited for. I thought Weapons was a very well-made movie, and I enjoyed pretty much my entire time with it. I'm excited for the character in that is a drug addict. He's going to be the lead in Resident Evil.
A completely new character. Yeah.
Completely new character.
Yeah.
But that actor. And he's one, I think I was reading an interview where the production kind of fell apart and he was one of the only ones to stay on from the original casting. So that's why Zach Kreger is kind of ridden with him. But he was fantastic. The other snub that I didn't see but really want to see, and I'm surprised it's not up for at least original song, is The Testament of Anne Lee. That is with Amanda Seyfried and got a lot of great buzz. It's about, I think it was the Quaker revival or something. Anne Lee was a prophet during the early colonial days of America, and like a English, like kind of, I don't know if you would consider her a cult leader or not. But the movie is based off of all of it. Shaker, that's what it was. It was the Shakers. Okay. All of these like Shaker hymns. So it's really interesting. I've heard some of the music from it. It's a lot of like a cappella kind of stuff. But I've heard it's fantastic. I've heard it shot really well. And then there was a film about some kind of other like Spanish explorer that I can't remember, that I've heard the cinematography in is great. Why can't I think of it? So I'm surprised that wasn't.
Yeah.
Magellan is the movie.
That's okay.
That has good reviews, and I've heard that it looks really cool. So I was surprised that wasn't.
I didn't realize that was a movie that came out this year. I would like to see that.
I was surprised Wicked for Good wasn't up for anything.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I didn't see it, but I remember how much buzz and how much the first part of Wicked was up for, it seemed like everything last year. So it surprised me to not see this mentioned even once in any of these categories.
No, even when I went to go see the musical on stage, which I'm like a big fan of the musical still, the second half is like, there's a notable nosedive with the quality of the second half of that musical. So I knew kind of going in that this movie wasn't going to be as good as the first one. The real problem with it is them trying to force the storyline to make sense with the original Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. I think also Guillermo del Toro not being up for a director for best directing was kind of surprising, because I would consider Frankenstein well directed, and I would have thought he would have been up for that category. A few actor ones that I think are snubbed, that one I'll mention at the end because I think we all kind of agree on that, and that was one that we brought up when we were initially discussing our snubs. But I'll start with the first one. So Paul Mescal wasn't up for Hamnet, which I think is kind of interesting, being that Hamnet was nominated so much for other categories.
He is a pretty light part of that movie.
So you think that is appropriate? Do you think that's not a snub?
Not really, especially with the other choices in that category. Yeah, the other choices are much stronger than him in that movie. Yeah, I mean, he's perfect for that role too, but it's just that the movie's so focused on Agnes, his wife. Yeah.
Oh, well, then that makes sense. And then the other one is Jesse Plemons for not being nominated as Best Actor for Begonia.
That one I do agree with in terms of it being a snub, because I thought he was even better than Emma Stone for that. Yeah.
I think because of the spoiler and because of what I found out, I disagree about him being better than Emma Stone, because I think she just played it so well. But I think he is so expressive and he plays his role. I mean, I think they should both be up.
Okay, yeah.
So I do think he was snubbed.
That is a movie I saw in theaters, and I was constantly going back and forth with what I thought the reality to be, and I was 90% sure for most of the movie of what it ended up being, but the fact that Emma Stone was able to play it to the point where there were like doubts, because I don't think the movie works as well without the ending that it ends up having if it was the other way around, and I think Emma Stone played her part in that. She had a lot more work to do than Jesse Plemons did.
But it's funny because I think despite that, there's been so much more publicity around Jesse Plemons. I feel like from what I've seen, like in interviews and when people talk about it, they talk a lot more about Jesse Plemons versus focusing on Emma Stone, because I think at the end of the day, she almost played somewhat of a straight character because he was so out there and she wasn't. But I think all her choices were so deliberate that I would almost watch it again, and I think that would make it seem even better.
I do kind of want to rewatch it because I went in very blind, not knowing what the ending is, and now obviously knowing the ending, I want to see how that changes my perspective on scenes and whatnot. Yeah.
I just loved that film. I thought it was so funny and so well done.
I thought we would end on what we're excited for in the future. Any 2026 releases that we're interested in?
Yes. Digger by Alejandro Iñárritu directing, starring Tom Cruise. That looks very interesting. That comes out, I think, in August of this year, maybe October. The other ones, big ones, The Odyssey, Dune 3. Those
are the big ones.
Fjord is a movie, another Norwegian film starring Renate Reinsve.
Yeah, she's got to be like Norway's biggest actress.
Yeah, she's in all of the Norway movies. Jack of Spades, the new Joel Coen movie coming out this year.
That's cool to know there's a new Coen Brothers. Is it Coen Brothers or is it just
It's Joel Coen.
Okay.
So he's the good Coen.
Oh.
he's the one that did Tragedy of Macbeth and Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Okay. I thought they both did that.
Did they both do Buster Scruggs?
I thought they both did it, yeah.
He's not the one that did Honey Don't. He's the other one. And then The Rivals of Amzia King. I heard so much buzz about this movie last year because it was at South by Southwest, and then it took a really long time for it to get a distribution deal. I'm not really sure what the backstory is behind that or why that is, or if there's any baggage this movie is carrying, but everybody that I saw reporting out of South by Southwest saw this movie and was like, that's going to be up for like maybe 10 Oscar categories. So I'm surprised because I was looking before we started recording it what could be up for next year along with the movies that I said. And that one didn't appear on any of the lists, but it's coming out this year in August.
Okay.
And that's got, like I said, Matthew McConaughey in it. Some period piece. I'm not exactly sure the premise of it, but it's supposed to be good. The other one that I've heard out of a few different mouths is Wild Horse 9. I don't really know what it's about. It's some sort of British political thriller. The poster that I saw for it has Ireland on it, so I guess Ireland is involved in some way. But yeah, those are the ones. And then there's Marvel movies coming out this year. There's Spider-Man. There's Doomsday.
Yeah. Ariana, anything?
I'm excited for the Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, yeah,
I am intrigued about that.
If that's good, that's going to have Best Actor, I think. For Jafar.
Yeah, it's his nephew, right, or something.
What is his name?
Jafar Jackson.
Jafar. Okay.
And so I am kind of intrigued about that. I'm excited for the new Hunger Games film.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it should just be fun because that book was actually really good. I'm a big horror fan, and so I am excited for The Mummy, which is not part of the Mummy franchise. It's like totally different, but like that makes me want to see it more. I think it's just more
it's
about
not a reboot, or is it?
No, I don't think it's a reboot.
Okay.
And then I, for some reason, love werewolves and will see almost any werewolf movie. So Werewolf, which is with directed by Robert Eggers.
That's going to be great.
And it looks like it's a lot of the same actors as Nosferatu.
He did Nosferatu. He did The Northman, which I actually loved. A lot of people didn't like The Northman as much as his other films, but I really enjoyed The Northman almost more than Nosferatu. I think I'd probably have to watch Nosferatu again.
The Lighthouse is still my favorite by him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. But it's going to be with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Depp, William Dafoe.
Yeah, this is the Nosferatu cast.
Yeah, it's like the same cast, basically.
Yeah. Is, who is it, Anya Taylor-Joy? Is she attached?
No.
I know she was too busy to do Nosferatu. She was supposed to be Lily Rose Depp's character.
I don't think she's attached to this one either.
She was in The Witch, which she directed.
Yes.
Which I really liked The Witch.
The Witch, the director's commentary on it is very funny because you watch it with that and it's just him hating the movie. It's a great movie. And
it's so funny.
He's just like, that's not the right tool they should be using. Like, I don't like the way that this is blocked.
That's part of what makes The Northman great is how in depth he goes into like Viking culture. Yeah. The famous braces on the Valkyries, I believe. That
I think it's always worth seeing his commentary, right? Because he's going to have a lot to say about it.
He's a very particular director, which is why I think The Werewolf is going to be really interesting. Yeah.
But I am that's probably the one I'm most excited for.
Was any others?
No, those were the main ones.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of that I'm excited for at the moment, just because I feel like a lot of the movies I end up liking, I don't find out about them until like a month before. Mm-hmm. But if I had to choose some, I heard like the first 7 minutes of The Odyssey were shown recently, and people said that if that's indicator of how good the movie is, that's going to be the best movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I have a few now looking at the slate coming up. The drama, I think, is going to be good.
Oh, I did
With
see
Robert
that.
Pattinson and Zendaya.
That's a big one. Yeah.
I think Zendaya is in a lot of movies she could get. She's in The Odyssey as well.
And Dune.
And Dune.
Yeah.
So she's going to have a big year. I could see her being nominated for something next year. I'll go with the goofiest ones at the end. But Disclosure Day, surprisingly, does not have like a whole lot of buzz around it yet, although it's Steven Spielberg coming back to doing alien movies, and I think might be a direct, like, in-world sequel
That's
to Close
fascinating.
Encounters.
I would probably say, I feel like Steven Spielberg, while he's still good, I feel like his heyday is done, but I love Close Encounters.
I hope Disclosure Day is good. That being said, I'm not holding my breath for it. It's a big sci-fi year. Project Hail Mary is also coming out.
Oh, yeah,
this
pretty
year.
soon. Like in 2 weeks or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. How to Make a Killing is coming out, and that's with Glenn Powell, I'm pretty sure. And that one looked kind of similar to No Other Choice. It's about someone in a rich family who has to kill other inheritors of the estate that he's
funny.
been disinherited from. So he's like trying to.
That sounds very
Is Glenn Powell a good actor?
He's got a lot of hype. I don't know.
He feels a little
personally.
forced on.
So I feel like
play it?
they
Yeah.
pick certain actors, like Hollywood would sometimes pick certain actors, and they kind of pushed them on us. And I feel like he's their
He's their
golden
industry
boy
plant,
right now. Yeah.
Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Yeah, that looks good.
I like the
That-
first one.
The first one was fun.
Yeah.
Sheep Detectives. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but I saw the trailer for this and it looked really fun if they end up doing it well.
Is this animated?
It's animated in a realistic way, so it's like these CGI sheep who don't look terrible. They look fine. Hugh Jackman is a farmer that every night reads to them. It's based on a book, mystery detective novels, and then he is murdered. So the sheeps
Oh my God.
take it upon
This sounds
themselves
amazing.
to investigate
Yeah.
his murder. The sheep to like go around town, and it's them. They're talking to each other, and they're listening to the detectives break down the case, and they're like, "That's not how this goes down at all." And it looks like it could be good. And all of the reactions I saw to the trailer was like, "I can't believe they're adapting this movie. The books are fun. It's a series of books."
I mean, the images from the movie look hysterical.
Yeah, it looks very goofy. It looks like a children's movie. I don't think it's going to be rated R, but it's not going to be marketed
I don't think
to
it's
children.
it's PG rated, but I think it's not marketed for children.
I think it's going to bomb really hard because I can't imagine it's inexpensive to make to pay for Hugh Jackman and then
also
have
CGI
a CG
sheep.
movie. Yeah,
I was just reading something which was kind of interesting about animated films, about like what qualifies as someone being a voice actor versus being able to be up for an Oscar nomination as Best Actor. Like I was looking like, because what was his name who played Gollum? I think he
Andy
was.
Serkis.
Yes, I think he was up for an Oscar for that role, but then something about like there was some kind of controversy with the March of the Penguins because they said technically that they were like CGI even though they were I mean, obviously those actors wouldn't be up for it. I was reading something. It was interesting.
Happy Feet?
Happy Feet.
March of the Penguins.
Yes, not March of the Penguins. I meant Happy Feet.
Yeah, those penguins. That CGI was really good.
Before it's hated. But yeah, that was it's something worth maybe looking into because I think there's an interesting debate going on around that.
Okay, yeah, I never really thought about that before. Because I was going to say, Andy Serkis, like, nobody else could have played Gollum besides him.
But if you think
Right,
about how
yeah.
much stuff is CGI'd in, and then how much is it
Especially Marvel
versus,
movies.
Yeah,
I mean, even
yeah.
if you think about like the live action things they've been doing for Disney, like Lion King or
I
whatever.
think Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes movies with all of the mocap apes are probably the biggest case to be made
Okay,
for
yeah.
actors in mocap suits being nominated for conventional
Best Actor
awards.
awards,
Yeah,
yeah.
Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. Because those movies are, the VFX on those is incredible if you've ever seen any behind the scenes of that. But that's a person emoting. I think Andy Serkis is the poster boy for that, and he's in those movies. He plays Caesar in those movies. But that is like, it's an art form, and it's very difficult get right.
And
I also
differentiate.
Yeah, I also want to mention, while we have Andy Serkis on the tongue, the worst movie of the year that will be coming out is Animal Farm, directed by Andy Serkis. I've not seen it. I don't know if anybody in the
We don't know if it'll be worse.
It looks terrible.
You can't make a DreamWorks comedy out of an Animal Farm.
Yeah,
it's not like
it's a DreamWorks comedy with fart jokes, and it's based off of George Orwell's Animal Farm.
which is a very politically driven.
And serious book. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how close we are to our predictions in a year. Maybe Animal Farm will be the best movie
It'll be
of
up
all
for an
time.
Oscar.
It bucks the trend of animated films not being nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, well, thank you for joining us. And Oscars in about a week and a half from our recording, so we'll see how we did. Thank you.